All right, cool. Welcome back, guys, to another Sunday pre-market setup where we go over some pairs we could possibly get into for the week coming up. Just give me a couple minutes while I just send out the link to the rest of the community, so we can just get it started right away. All right, give me 1 second. And I guess the comment section is not working, so I'm actually gonna send out a Zoom link to the community as well. So if you're not part of the community, please, DM me personally. My link to my Instagram is in my bio. We can get you situated with the community, and we can be a part of what we're doing here. But for the community that's in right now, I'm just gonna send them the link so they can actually join up and participate in what I'm doing right now. So all right, cool. Everything is sent out. Hopefully, I can see my screen too, and we can get started. All right. Maybe I'll just wait for a couple people to hop in. Let me just unlock this. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna get started. All right, but so the first pair I'm gonna go over is GBP USD. But of course, if you guys have any pair you guys want me to go over, just comment it in the comment section below, or you can just open your mic and you can just say it. Any questions I'll answer as well. I'm just gonna get right to it. So GU. So last week we had a big rally up, right? Especially on Friday, we just had a big push up. So currently we're at this mid level right here. So as you know, once we open our resistance, it potentially has a high momentum, high chance of going down to one of these levels right here. So this is what I actually want. I want it to go down actually, and plus you see a lot of resistance right here as well. Um, you see a lot of resistance right here as well on this mid level. Let me just go on a higher time frame so I can look at where we actually are on a higher time frame. All right, so it's the highest it's ever been. This year and last year. Like the late last year. So let's see, on a 4 hour, looks like it's coming down right now, but there's no rejection. So we can see something like this because it's still resistance right here. So we can see something like this, possibly come here, support right here. I want the support to be tested out because it didn't really test out on the on any other time frame. So actually only it did it one time, which is the hour. But normally when it does like an immediate retest like this, I don't really count it, but it is coming off that support line. So I don't really count this one right here. So normally when it does like an immediate retest like this, higher high, higher low, comes back down to retest its major level. It does pop up as you can see here, but normally it just rounds off back to here, so we can get a clear rejection off of this support level right here. and notice, like I marked this up right here. This level hasn't been broken since 2018. So the fact that it just like smoothly just broke through it is really not. I'm not really fucking with it. So I just need another rejection over here. Possibly we can get that, but I'm gonna go over multiple planes as well, so like I always do. But possibly we can come down here, right when Sunday opens, come out here, 1.3800, and then reject multiple times. So this could happen during Asia session, right in the beginning of London session at 3 o'clock, or in the middle of London session, which is like 6 o'clock ish. And then if it doesn't happen, it doesn't come down like during those times because that's the earliest times. It could probably just be heading up already. So that's why I don't really play it off the mid level. But since it's like coming off the mid level right now, and it's gonna open at resistance. Normally, if it opens at resistance on the Sunday, it would just tank down to its starting point where it first pull up, or it just keep going down. But with that being said, so this is my first plan right here. So it would be come over here, rejection. After this rejection, because this is a drop. It's not a dip. So if you guys wanted to buy this, like for me, I'm buying all week. Especially if USD keeps losing its strength, because last week that's what it started to do. Started to lose strength. I was expecting it to lose strength in the beginning of March, towards the middle of March, when the Fed meeting comes out on March 17th. So that's when they're going to announce their policy and everything. So I was planning to, really, really heavily buy GBP USD and other pairs as well to, capitalize off of USD weakness. So with that being said, but I gotta play it, as it goes, because USD is starting to lose strength right now, so it can be an early rally. So I just gotta be prepared for that because I don't want to miss anything. So yeah, back to what I was saying. So when it comes down, like this is a drop. In case you guys didn't know, like you gotta be careful with buying dips and drops. So this is considered a drop. It's 50 pips right here. So it's gonna drop down. Right now it's opening at resistance, so it's gonna drop down, and then hopefully consolidate, or I can get like a double bottom, right? Higher high, higher low, like you always want. Like whenever you're dropping, I'm gonna repeat this every live, so it can be stuck in your guys' heads, right? Every time you want let me close this. Every time you want to buy a pair, oh, one second. All right, cool. So every time you want to buy a pair, and when it's dipping like this to your entry point, you guys need a consolidation zone or a double bottom. Mainly, I'm saying like you don't want a lower low. So after this drop, you don't want to know a lower low to occur. So once you get that support being held and no lower lows are being created, then you can start to gauge as what you wanna do with your trade. So normally it would consolidate or double bottom or anything, and then you're gonna look for a higher high and then a higher low right on top of the resistance zone, right, or right above it. Okay, so this is what we call a roll reversal, change of direction. So once you get that roll reversal right there, then you can start to play it out. You can probably enter right here. Normally people enter at the double bottom just to get an aggressive entry. I do that as well. I just cut down my lot size and then have the same same amount of TP. I mean, same amount of SL like I usually do. So it's gonna be 5 or 10. So in case like just because I see this right here, I might put it a little bit below and cut down my lot size a little bit more, because that's the last higher low. I mean, that's the last lower low that I see. So if it does pass this, it's going to make another lower low on a higher time frame, which is the hour, and then continue to go down if anything. So how many pips is this? Just to see. 25 pips. So yeah, it's either I don't enter this trade at all and just wait for that, pop up and then the higher low after it, so I can enter at the higher low for a safer entry, or I just get an aggressive entry right here and then, get the higher high, higher low, and then enter again right there with my normal lot size. But it's going to be depending on how I feel about the trade and how everything's moving. And plus when strengths come out as well, I'm going to take a close look at that as well. Because I really think, USD might get a little bit more strength for this week, but I just got to see it. I just got to see the strength between the two, especially GBP too, because GBP has been going up and down in strength. So especially last week, it would just keep going up and down, just consolidating with strength. So I just got to play it out strength wise, and just pay attention to that as well. But normally, like if strength was all good, right? Let's say this is like Asian session going to London, get something like this, and then continue to buy the higher lows as we go up, right? And if you were like, more, a little bit more skeptical about this pair, right, you would have to wait for all this nonsense to be cleared out. So you want a higher high on a higher on a higher time frame, so an hour or the 4 hour. If you feel comfortable with that, and then you can just go up like that. But you're gonna have to miss out on 50 pips if you do. So if you're a person that's very very conservative, and you want to wait for a higher high out of the larger time frames, then that's cool as well. Right, that's cool as well. You just gotta be very patient with it. So like if you see the trade could go up and then you're like, all right, cool, I want to enter now, like kind of too late. Because number one, you're far from your entry point, like where you're supposed to enter at, which is a major level. And you gotta have a risky risk to reward ratio. Plus you're gonna be heading up to resistance as well. So it's not really, an ideal place to buy if you didn't buy anything down here. So 20 pips in, like anything over 20 pips, because you're gonna be losing like 30 pips. And then your stop loss is gonna be like about 30 pips. It's gonna be a 50-50 chance for you. So yeah, just either you go aggressive down here or you just go conservative up here. So it's really a choice. But either or, like if it does make a higher high right here and a higher low right here, you should definitely get into this trade no matter what. If you're in this trade already, you can get a second entry right here. Or if this is your first entry, you should be able to get this entry right here because it's going to be clear as day. All right. So this is what a dip is. Like when you make a higher high and then a higher low, that's a dip. This is going to be a drop. So dips are easy to buy. Drops are kind of harder to buy because you got to pay close attention to the price, strength, and everything. So it's really up to you guys. But I like aggressive entries, me personally, and I gain more pips while I do aggressive entries. So I just play smart, still have my same amount of pips. Pips with my SL, 5 or 10 pips. If I do see something like this, see something like this, a low next to my entry zone, I will probably put it below my entry zone because below this point right here because that's the last low I seen on the left. All right, so I might cut down my loss size a little bit more so I can have the same amount of loss that I would take with 10 pips. So that's why I cut down my loss size on my first entries and then I just let it ride out. All right, and then I find other entries as I go. So I don't need to be too aggressive because I know I'm gonna find other entries as I go. It's gonna compound my profits, if that makes sense. All right, so that's my first plan for GBP USD as we go up. Potentially hit this 1.3900 level probably on Monday and Tuesday. Let me just go on the 4 hour. So yeah, but that would be a good TP, and then I'm gonna play it out as we go from there because I don't see any clear resistance on the 4 hour standpoint. Let me hop on the daily. The only resistance I see is over here, but I'm just gonna play it out as I go on. So yeah, that's for GU plan 1, plan number A or plan letter A, whatever you want to call it. So that's my first plan. All right, does anybody have a question before I go on to the next plan? Before I hop on the next plan, or I'm straight? Anybody talking? All right. So the second plan I have for GBP USD is it dropping off this resistance right here, possibly breaking this 1.3800 level and coming down to retest this level right here of this mid level of 1.37500. All right. So the reason I wanted to come down here, like this is kind of my plan A was the immediate plan, but like this is what I really want because I like this this base right here of resistance. So as you can see, there's a lot of resistance right here, a lot of rejection. This is the 4 hour, so there's more rejection on the hour, the 15, the 5 minute, all that. So if it does come down here, this is going to be a great place to buy because it's going to turn into support, hopefully, right? As as price comes down, I'm looking for a huge rejection off this resistance zone to possibly buy it. So same thing as everything, right? I just need a double bottom, which is not a lower low. I don't need lower lows, no lower lows when I'm trying to buy. And then I want a higher high in this area and then a higher low right after. All right, so this is this is the plan I really want. So if this plan doesn't work, I'm not gonna be too upset about it because I have this plan that I really want. But yeah, like I like this plan a lot too. Just a high low right here. Yeah, um so yeah, like this resistance is a key resistance for myself. Plus, it's a quarter level right here, so I don't really use quarter levels much, but all I know is like 1.37500s. Those are quarter levels, so they're just as important as the major levels and the mid levels. But it's a quarter level on a higher time frame, so that's a pretty good confluence as well. As we go up, so this is my second plan. My plan B for GBP USD. And then if it does fall further, this is going to be my last resort for buys, which is 1.3700. If it passes 1.3700, it might just tank all the way down to Lord knows. So I'm just going for straight buys this week. I'm not even trying to switch up anything. I'm just gonna look for straight buys. If I get no straight buys this week, then it's all good. I'm not gonna complain about it. I lost no money, so it's all straight. But if it does, break all this, all these buy zones that I have for myself, this 1.3700 is probably going to be my last resort, right? Because you can see resistance right here, resistance, and probably going to play out during the week. So if this doesn't get broken, this might be my last resort, but I don't know if it's going to head there by the end of the week. So let me just see how many pips that is. 233 pips. It depends, because if it just ranges like for a couple of days, then that could be, a waste of 2 days. Give me 1 second. This heat is blasting. All right, we're back. But yeah, like I was saying, like if GBP USD ranges a little bit, like for the first couple of days, then it probably could be end up here for sellers. Like if sellers do want to sell this, they're gonna need a lot more things to go by, because it is on an uptrend right now. But if sellers did win this week, then if it ranges a couple of days, then that could be a waste of 2 days, and it could probably end up here for sellers. But if if USD does gain strength and GBP is still bouncing around in strength, or just loses strength and all, then it could probably end up right here at this 1.3600 level on Friday. All right, so that's a good like 300 pips, I think. 238, 240, so I got 300, about to your 300. But yeah. So that's for GBP USD, but I'm mainly looking for buys because I feel like USD is going to continue losing its strength, and I could probably get into it for buys for this whole week. But hopefully, strength willing, we'll get that. So that's my plans for GBP USD. Does anybody have any questions before I go on to GJ? GJ is a little bit more elevated than usual too, so you might get a big kind of trend down. But does anybody have any questions before I go on, or I can just go on? All right, good. All right, cool. All right, so GBP, JPY. All right, as you can see, very elevated. I think it's overbought. All right, so for GJ, I think somebody in the community asked about this pair too as well. So GJ is also coming off a resistance of the mid-level 145.500. So normally, like I said in the past pair, normally when things open up at resistance, they continue to go down off of that resistance. So it could possibly come down here to this to this support line of 145 flat, and then keep going up to the higher highs. If JPY does continue to lose strength. As you can see, there's resistance right here that could potentially be support, but we are coming off of the drop. So same thing as GBP USD. That's why I like the two pairs, because they correlate with each other most times. Right, it's gonna drop 50 pips, and then you're gonna need not a lower low to be created, and then a higher high after that, higher low by that role reversal. Or if you want to wait for the higher high on the higher time frame, you can wait for that too as well. Just be just be patient with it. And then by the higher the higher high, and then a dip right there on that mid level, and they continue up to the higher highs. So this is the immediate plan right here for GJ. And let me see where we can end up for the week. On the daily. All right, cool. So on the daily, I can see a flat ceiling right here. We're currently passing it right now though, so it's like 144. I just want to say 145 to be honest with you. 145 flat, maybe come down a little bit more. 144. Zoom in a little bit. So I think this is 144.500. So between 144 500 and 145 flat, it could be some resistance, and then the highest one too before dropping crazy was like 146. Let me. I see more resistance up here too. 147. So I think we can get to 147, 147, 146. So let me just hop over here. So I'm just looking for challenges for this pair as it keeps elevating up. Currently, it's in a little channel right now, so I haven't used this in a while. What the hell? I'm not even using this too much. Too much confusion. But yeah, I'm just trying to look for challenges for this pair, to be honest with you, because it's still it's still elevating a lot. I'm just looking for like some signs of rejection, so it could possibly go down a lot. If it does hit that point, mainly my TPs. So we could probably hit 146, between 146 and 148. Will be our challenges up going up. So just gotta be mindful of that. I'm gonna put my lines back on. All right, so like I said, every time it does make a new higher high and there's no challenges, recently, like I could see like on the 4 hour, there's nothing I could see on the left. Then I'm just gonna play it out as it goes up. As you can see, I already have mine marked up. 147 marked up for a strong resistance, so I can be, pay close attention to that. But it's mainly like these two right here. So these three are gonna cause me problems as I go up, and I could probably put my mid levels as well. 6. All right, so like with everything, I just gotta play it out. Play it out as it goes up. It makes a new higher high. So have something like this. Like in a perfect world, it will do this. All right, go up during London, come down during Asia, set up for the next day, and then continue going up. But at any point, at any of these resistance, it could probably flop. So I just gotta be very mindful of that. So it could look something like this. Perhaps at this 147 strong resistance zone. As soon as it doesn't make a higher high, I'm probably gonna be concerned. If it makes a lower low after that, then I'm probably gonna get out of all my trades. I'm trying to hold all these trades for a long period of time as the trend keeps going and making high highs and high lows on a larger time frame. Just to get that extra pips as we go, so I don't have to like do too much work during the week. Trying to simplify my trading. But if it doesn't make a higher high and I see that, then I'm probably gonna move. Now I'm probably just gonna get out, to be honest with you, and look for another entry if it does fall. All right, so I'm mainly like looking for support to be held on a higher time frame for my longer period of trades. And then if I have like day trades going up on these and I don't see a higher high being created, and then a lower low gets created as well, then I'm probably gonna get out and then let my other trades ride, see if it does break even. If it doesn't, then this support will be held, and then we can continue up to the higher highs. So if price does drop a little bit like this, like a little drop right there, obviously we're gonna need another double bottom, higher high, breaking this higher high right there. So as we break this higher high on this resistance zone, then we probably can get some more up as we go. But that's all gonna depend on GBP being strong and JPY being weak. So let me just look at my Just want to look at where we ended the week. Let me pull up my index. All right, so JPY, as you can see, from January was very weak. Now starting February, right, we're getting some strength. So as we gain some strength, now it's starting to lose strength right now. So if it does continue to lose strength, and it does make a lower low off this right here, so it made a high high, but I want to make a lower low right here. That would be pretty good for my GBP JPY trade. And then we can look at the British pound right here, as you can see. British pound got very strong the beginning of February, right, and then like past when the Fed meeting was out, like the Fed policy and everything, not the Fed policy, the BOE, Make Up England policy was out. It started to gain strength, and then as you can see, it started going up and down. So hopefully, it does make a high off of this little pullback right here. It does make a high, so it can continue to have strength on GBP pairs, so I can continue to buy. So that's something I'll look at. But for my next plan for GBP JPY, right, that was my first plan, that's the medium one. This is the plan that in case it falls from that resistance like heavily. So as you can see, this is my first buy zone right here, right? If it does fall like this, if it does break this support right here, come back up for a lower high, sellers will probably sell this and then take it down to this probably. Yeah, this is my second entry right here. This is my first entry. This will be my second entry right here. So same thing as always, I need a double bottom to be created. All right. And as you can see, planning is pretty simple, right? You're just looking for places where you see resistance at, like for buyers. You're looking for places where you see resistance at, like a good point of resistance. So as you can see, it came up, it made a lower low, it made a higher low off of this, so it just dropped. So as you can see, this would be a strong resistance point. So whenever you see a strong resistance point, that could be a buy zone because strong resistance and it breaks through, like it could be it could be a support, so it could turn support. All right, so just remember, like this is basic stuff. So anytime a strong resistance is being broken, it must come down for a retest. So as you can see, we tested over here. But as we break down, right, we can still see this point to be retested as support. All right. So as you can see, support was right here. Support was right here a little bit. That's immediate retest. And like I said on GU, like every time it does a immediate retest, it may go up about 100 or 50 pips, sometimes even 20 pips, and then just round off back down just to retest that same resistance point. Normally during Asian, so you can get an Asian fade session, and then buy for London. All right. So in this case, this happened during London. So that's why I said it might happen before London, in the beginning of London, or right in the middle of London. So just be mindful. Usually, what I do is I put 3 alarms for myself, and I put alerts for myself as well on these buy zones, and I just play it all that so I won't try to stare at the chart and try to force a trade. All right. So normally the times I do is first I'm at my charts at 10 o'clock p.m. If I don't see anything going on, I just hop off it, put my alerts on, and then I go back and check the charts at 12 p.m. right before London. If I don't see anything on there, then I'll probably put another alert, and then set my alarm for 3 a.m. for the beginning of London. So market opens are very important too because, like I said, like market is about to open right below this mid level. So if market opens right below this mid level, it's probably going to drop down off this resistance. All right, unless strength is crazy and just pops up. But normally, when market opens and it's at a resistance point, it will normally drop. So same thing with a buy, right? If market opens at a support line, it will probably pop up. All right, so you got to be very mindful of that and see where you're at during specific times, especially market open. So if London opens up at a support, then you're straight for that buy, and it keeps wicking. Like let's say like right here, right? You get that right shoulder on a double bottom, and it's 3 o'clock. Of course, you're gonna buy that because it's market open. First of all, it's opening at a support, and it's a double bottom, aka not making a lower low. So that could be an aggressive entry, which is a good aggressive entry. Pop up for a higher high, come down for a higher low, and they could continue going up to the higher highs. All right, so that's why I said timing is very important. If it doesn't happen during the market open, then you have 6 o'clock, because what I've been realizing is 6 o'clock is like kind of a midpoint, and trades tend to form during that time as well. All right, so that's normally when you miss an entry right here, maybe, and then it makes a higher high on a higher time frame. So that's the easier entry to get into the dip. All right, so market opens 6 o'clock is good too, and then the last resort is probably going to be your 8 to 9 o'clock during your New York session, like the beginning of the New York session. So you can pay attention to that as well. But for GJ, right, you can come down to this buy zone right here, double bottom, higher high, high low. It's really repetitive. It's pretty simple. And then you just continue up to the higher highs. All right. Do drop right here. This will be another good entry right here. As you can see, resistance, support. Since it didn't, come back down and retest it immediately, probably gonna come back down and retest it as well. Even though if this wasn't here, this is still a major level and this is still a resistance. So major levels, when they get broken, come back down for a dip, buy that, continue up to the higher highs. All right. And then my last resort probably will be 143. 143 right there. Possibly come down. If it breaks all these levels right here, this mid level could be a support as well. But overall, I'm looking for this to be held. This probably not gonna get into it for the week coming up, but possibly this will be ending up here on Friday if sellers do win the week. So if sellers do win the week, it probably could be ended up on 143. As you can see, this was a big push up. This was the start of the strength for GBP. So this was when the Bank of England had their policy statement, and it pushed GBP up for a great amount of strength. All right, as you can see, now it's starting to trend up. But if JPY does gain strength and is stronger than GBP, then it could possibly head down to 143. I don't think it's gonna get here by the end of the week, but if it does, then I'll be surprised. But this is another buy zone I have, but it probably can get there next week if price does fall from this, which will suck, but it's all good. So how many pips is this? Like 300? Yeah, 3 zones. Yeah, 200. Really? Oh, okay. So 200 pips. So you possibly can get down here because 200 pips can be done in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. If the trend is actually a trend and not consolidating like it was doing 2 weeks ago. So this could be another buy zone. So it's basically just looking for points of resistance, and if it breaks that resistance, just look for the next point of resistance. It's that simple. And then look for the non lower low, double bottom, and then continue to the higher highs. So like, yeah, it's easy to plan it out, but it's not easy. It is easy to plan it out, but it's not easy to know execute if you don't have patience and discipline. Because sometimes I can tell you like earlier, I would get to one of my buy zones, and then I would just buy it automatically and just try to pray that it wicks out so I can get that wick, so I can get that perfect entry, quote unquote, and then it just drops down for a lower low. So you got to be very patient, very visually at the price, because price can fool you sometimes, especially on a lower time frame. So if you feel comfortable on a higher time frame, the highest I'll go is probably an hour. If I see a lot of wicks on the 15 and I see a big wick on the hour, then that's my ultimate confirmation into the trade. But yeah, just be very patient with this, because yeah, you just gotta be very patient. But that's my plans for GJ. As you can see, I have sellers. Sellers will probably buy all these lower highs. But I'm just looking for prices to get into the trade for buys. All right. So I'm going for strictly buys this week, probably for the rest of the month for the rest of the year, to be honest with you. Done trying to counter trend. Because USD is done. Looks like it's done. It's done having a lot of strength. So done with USD strength. Let me just hop on my index too. See, as you can see, fell. Gained a little bit of strength last week coming off Friday, and then it just dipped down. So it's losing strength right now. So that's pretty good. So if it does make a lower low again, I will be very happy. I'll be very happy. This will be at bottom right here. So like when you're losing these index too, you can play them off like higher highs and higher lows as well, and lower lows and lower highs as well. It's pretty much the same concept, but it's just dealing with one specific currency. Right now I'm on USD, so you don't have to like go crazy with it. Nothing could be charged or anything like that. You just look at the overall strength of it. This is just strength purposes, and then you know, you can just play it off of this. So lower low, like it made a lower high, so potentially you can make another lower low, and then continue going down on GBP USD. I need a higher high and a higher low after that. So it made a higher high, higher low. So that's why it pushed up again. EUR is just really trickling around, not really doing much. Overall, it's weak. Off the last week, it made a big push up for strength. So hopefully it tops out right here and just continues down. Oh yeah, I didn't go over EUR. So that's my GBP JPY trade setup. Does anybody have any questions before I go on to EUR USD? I might just go on to EUR USD and continue. This will probably be my last pair doing, and then I'm gonna hop off this. All right, so EUR USD, as you can see, beginning of January we had a big rally down, and then beginning of February we had a big push up. So as you can see, we're coming off of these resistance right here. All right, so potentially if EUR does lose strength right now, it's not really have a lot of strength. It doesn't have a lot of strength, but if it does lose strength, right, I'm expecting it to come all the way down to 1.2 thousand, and then continue down, and then bottom off right here. So this could be my my buy entry right here. Actually, let me just do the immediate one first, just in case. So my immediate entry would be something like this. But at the same time, like I probably wouldn't trust it because first of all, it's coming off of resistance and it's making a lower low of some sort. And then I just want this to be broken, to be honest with you. So if it does come back down to 1.2 thousand, to 1,000, to 100, whatever, it could pop up. I want this to be broken. I'm not going to enter right here because overall I'm expecting it to come down. So if it does get broken, right, I'll probably buy the dip right here. Right, I don't expect it to work out, but I'm just gonna do my job because it's a higher low on the support line. So I could take that shot, and if I miss, I miss. I'm gonna have it at break even. But I really don't expect it to continue up right now at this moment. So this week I'm planning for it to go down. To be honest with you, even though I'm expecting USD to lose its strength, I'm expecting EUR to lose more strength as we go on for the week. Hopefully it gets back down here on Wednesday. Thursday and Wednesday, hopefully early this Tuesday. But I just really want this this 1.2 thousand level to be tested out so I can buy it again. Because I didn't get a chance to buy it when it was at 2,000 before, and then it didn't do a really clear clear retest. So as you can see right here, it did make a higher high, higher low situation, but I wanted to come down further so I can test it out right here. As you can see, I had some entries for a counter trend coming down here. It didn't work out. I just broke even on that. Just delete all the targets. It didn't really work out. I broke even on that, and as you can see, it just shot up. So we're open at resistance. Hopefully, it just drops down to here. Possibly, like this is 100 pips, so it could probably get down here tonight, leading into London on Monday. Probably get down there by the end of Tuesday, hopefully, and then double bottom and continue going up. So by then, I hope EUR gains strength, and then continues going up. If it doesn't, you know, stop here at 1.2 thousand, it could probably dip down to this main area I had right here of 1.1900. So this was like the main entry I wanted before all this happened. So when this happened, I got kind of pissed because I was like, damn, it couldn't go down like 50 more pips, 100 more pips. So I can get that entry right here, but it's all good. It's probably like a false rally of some sort. So if it comes down, same thing as always, double bottom, But as you can see, like this is my main entry because this is a good floor to there's a good ceiling to buy off of. See, a lot of resistance right there. 1, 2. Mind you, I'm on a 4-hour time frame as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of breached over here, but it didn't come back down here. Retest successfully. So it just ranging out. Rejection, rejection, rejection. A lot of rejection right here. So I saw that and I was like, all right, cool. I really want this to be tested out, just like GBP had a strong ceiling. I want this to be tested out for support. So if it does come back down here, I'm definitely looking for buys right here. I'm definitely gonna be more patient, but I'm probably gonna be more aggressive with it because this price is a good price to buy at. All right. But nonetheless, I have this one, and I don't think this one's gonna work. But if it does, I do have this one. So I have 2 before that. If the third one does work out, I'm looking at like my TP would be. I'm gonna hold this forever, to be honest. If it does get down here, I'm gonna hold it to the end of the year and try that. And I have a top right there. So let me just see about 600 pips. Okay. If I do it right here, it's gonna be like 700. 500. All right, cool. So we're gonna have a great amount of pips. That's why I want to buy it low because we're gonna have more pips going back up. But I'm still obligated to buy these dips going up. So if it does continue making higher highs, then of course I have to buy the higher lows going back up. I'm not gonna just watch it, go up because I want a price to be hit. Like price doesn't have to do anything I say. All right. Just remember that price doesn't have to do anything you say. Just having your perspective on the chart and waiting for a price to hit your plan. All right. So that's for EUR USD. Just a quick little EUR USD trade. For my backup, I don't have anything for NJ. I don't even want to trade NJ because I think Kiwi is pretty weak. Yeah, nah, I'm not trading NJ this week. So it's gonna be GBP, JPY, and EUR. It's gonna be my starting lineup. But yeah, all right, cool. So if anybody doesn't have any questions on this, on any pairs I went through, I'm gonna send individual recordings about each pair, just a short little clip, so you guys can get ready for the week coming up even more. All right. So I hope this helps you guys plan out your week. I hope you guys get some tips this week as well. Just stay patient, stay vigilant, and you just pay attention to everything that you learned this week, last week, and all the times you've been here in the community. All right. So hopefully you guys have a great week. I'm gonna hop off this. If you have any questions, hit me up directly in the community. Post in the community, anything you want. I'm gonna be here. Carlos gonna be here. Your other coach is gonna be here. And yeah, let's just get this bread this week. All right. See you guys in the community. Be safe.